Coach, thanks for having us. We don't think we have the answers by any means at Brookfield Central, more answers than anybody else. I've been very fortunate to play for some really, really good people. Through the course of my career, I played for John O'Grady at River Falls back when they were straight option. My uncle's John Hope, who won 7 state titles at Lancaster. By the pure luck of life, when I got my first assistant job, I went down to Florida. I was at Lake Brantley High School, which is a school of 4,000 kids. They run the option. So just been really fortunate to be around really, really good people. We have a really good staff. Actually, I went to high school with Jake. We're from Alma, so we've seen the spectrum of school sizes. When I was in Kenosha, we had 2,400 kids, and I was in Alma, I graduated with 22 kids. So I've kind of seen the aspects of a lot of things. You know, people ask me why we've been able to be pretty successful players. I think our kids work really, really, really hard. And I know that's not part of this. Our off-season attendance, I just want to kind of tell you a couple things that kind of build into how we play, what we do. Our expectations for all of our football players is 80% attendance in the off-season. And I don't excuse anything. I'm going to explain that the first time I go place. I tell parents that they look like, oh my God, this guy is nuts. If a kid has a funeral, that is an unexcused absence in our weight room. You think, oh my God, someone did. I'm not going to tell somebody what's excused and what's not excused. I'm not going to tell Clay that his family trip is more important than Jake's family trip. I just tell our kids, when we take our off-season workouts and everything's done. And last year we had 126 opportunities of off-season workouts coming up for the season. You have to figure out what is important and what's not important. Obviously, you need to go to a funeral. Family vacations are important. But when all of a sudden it hits spring and it's 65 by us and everybody by us thinks they can go down to Mitchell Park and not weightlift, we'll have kids that do that. But those are kids for us that haven't missed a day in 3 or 4 weeks. We've done that every place I've been at. So the kids know that everything is based off 80%. Last year, our team attendance, without anything excused, was 96% in the weight room. So I think our kids work really, really hard. The second thing is you know, as we talk about acclimation, you know, when I took over at Central, the mantra was there, Jed, are you going to coach those same kids the way you did at Bradford in Florida? Are you going to, you know, be as physical as you were? I can't change who I am, and I think they kind of knew that when they hired me. I'm not a very laid-back guy. They might hear some colorful language. We're going to get after it when we do things. We practice full pads every Monday. We go best on best when we start practice, and we're fortunate we're at a large school. We have no kids play both ways. We're going to line up, and we're going to put our best players and our best 11 players, and we're going to go at it. I don't think you can talk to kids about, there's people out there who they never tackle in practice that win a lot of games. That's awesome. With my personality, we haven't been able to find that connection to play physical and talk about it. I think that you have to practice physical. And people say, how am I different now than I was 12 years ago? We just don't do it as long. We still joke about when I was at Kenosha Bradford in 2007. I mean, our best on best session would be 40 minutes. Our kids loved it. It was a favorite part of practice. We'd run outside veers 17, 18 times. If you don't get tough, you don't play, you quit, you find something else to do. And, you know, so we do those same things now, but instead of being a 25-minute session, it's a 10-minute session. But I still think that you have to line up and play football the way that it was played. People always say, oh, I'm worried about guys getting hurt. You know what? When I took a head job down in Florida, we had 32 kids, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And we did it down there. I am not convinced that any more kids get hurt doing that than they do playing 7-on-7 or when they do doing back. I got more D-backs over with sprained ankles from back pedal drills than injuries I have during 11-on-11 or when we're doing our nutcracker drill. I just think it's another way to separate those kids who really don't want to be there. So, you know, and kind of the last thing, we take the whole team part of football to the extreme. I know everybody says that. I just want to tell you a couple things that we do. We are, I would bet, one of the only programs probably in the country, we joke about this, we do not give any individual awards at our banquet. Not one. We don't give an MVP, we don't give a most improved, we don't do that. And I've coached some really, really, really good players. I coached one who played in the Pro Bowl last week. Melvin Gordon does not need to have me name him the Bradford MVP to have him know that he's a really, really good football player. But what I found is, how can I tell people that we're all in this together, Melvin's no more important than our left guard, and then we're going to come up here and I'm going to talk to him about 5 minutes about how great he is. People know how good he is. And, I just always looked at that. Up till 2 years ago, I did not let my kids talk to the paper during the season. People are like, oh my gosh. You know what? For every person talking to the paper, on our squad, there's 59 who aren't. So I would love to talk, to be honest with you, as much as I love this stuff here, to me, culture, program stuff is my favorite thing to talk about. If any of y'all ever want to come down and visit us at Central, watch how we work out. Like I said, we don't have the answers. We just, I think, really believe in the way that we do things. And certainly, I'm sure I picked things up from you that we incorporate in our program. So I was talking to Coach, which was neat. We do a discipline spin the wheel when kids get in trouble. I don't tell kids, oh, you're doing this. If they miss class, if they're late, I just tell them, you go spin the wheel. And there's a free space about like this much on it. And they spin it. It might be 500 yards of bear crawl. We have a $1,000 crow drill, or a 1,000-yard crow drill, where you run 10 yards, do an up down for 1,000 yards. His ass will get on time next time. So I always tell kids, I'm not debating if you got to do this or that. They come in my office and say, hey, I got an email today from Mrs. Johnson. Go spin the wheel. Oh shit! Spin the wheel and go. It takes all of me now. I was telling Coach, it's funny, the first thing happened to them too, the first time we did it, like the biggest pack 12 years ago, hit like the free space that's like that big. I'm like, shit. But you know what? I said, hey, you want to risk it? And it's funny, he had a couple other visits to the wheel, he never hit that thing again. So if y'all ever want to come down and talk with us, you can. I'm going to talk about two things before we get going on this. This is our package offensively. And I'm going to tell you, we have tags inside of all these things. So, we're a midline team, option-wise, we run midline triple a little bit. Inside veer, ted, and outside veer are our main option plays. We think we can run that against any front. If I have time at the end, I'm going to talk about inside veer, ted. I think it's the best play in football, in my mind. In outside veer, I put a star by those again because those are our big things. We run belly ISO, we run belly G, we run belly option. We run wing counters I didn't put up there. We run jet sweep. We run rocket. We run counter ISO. People say, oh my God, you guys do a lot of stuff. Yeah, we do. Here's what I will tell you about kids. If you make them learn it, they will learn it. I've been at places, and I just had a great conversation with Rick Darlington, one of my best friends down in Florida. He's convinced that his average ACT of his score is low teens. They have about 10 times more than that. If you make kids learn it, your kids will learn it. If you use it as a crutch, saying, you know what, oh my gosh, that's too much stuff, I just don't believe in that. So we throw a lot of stuff at our kids. The big thing we want to talk about is, when you look at flexbone people, you'll see a lot of people who are double split, double slot. That's how true flexbone, when people came out, they said that is what flexbone, the formation is. It's funny, we joke about this, I got kicked off of flexbone site message board about 10 years ago. Because I was talking about how we're in tackle over all the time. And the runner of this site said, that is not flexbone. I said, I don't care what it is, it's what we do with our double wing. Well, the funny thing was, like 3 or 4 years later, if you watch Georgia Tech play, they are in tackle over all the time. So when you watch our clips, we are about 70%, back when we were full option, unbalanced unbalanced flexbone. And I'm going to tell you why we did it. The exact opposite reason why people said they didn't do it. People, what they said was they didn't want to see funky fronts. When you lined up with double split, you do how people are going to line. I get that. If you think back, and maybe this is just a problem down by us, Clay could probably attest to this, we see very few people who are running true tight ends anymore. People are used to having outside linebackers backed off the ball. They're in coverage, they're in RPOs, they're blitzing. I want to make that kid come up and play defense on a tight end. I want to shift tight ends, so the kid who repped all week that he's going to jam the tight end, who probably hasn't done that much all year, now I'm going to have a kid who hasn't done it probably in 2 years come up and do that. So that's the first reason. I want people to defend A gap, B gap, C gap, D gap, and E gap. Without a tight end, we lose a gap that they have to defend. We have enough plays where we think we can attack every gap. By losing a gap, we lose ways to attack that. We think that the advantage goes to defense. With the multiple defenses, the blitzes, the shifting, we think that's one card that we still have in our back pocket. The second thing is this, and it's crazy when you watch our film. Really simple way how we do it. Okay? We tell our quarterback, come up to the line of scrimmage. He looks right down the center. And you can do this in any offense you run. For anybody under 10 yards, Okay? The first two levels. It's simple. If they're on this side of the line, it's a full count. If they're on that side of the line, it's a full count. If they're touching the midline, it's a half. Okay? Very, very simple. Anybody over 10 yards, we tell them 2 arm lengths from the center line counts towards the middle. Does that make sense? So if Jake is the center, and I'm a free safety at 14 yards, and I'm standing right here, the quarterback below, I'm 2 arm lengths from the center, we're going to count that as a half player, not a full, because the angle we think can get to the other side. Now, over 2 arm lengths, we're counting this as a full player towards the field side. Now I'm going to tell you, if you line up in unbalanced formations, people do not know how to defend them. Especially when you put unbalanced formations into the boundary, which we made a killing on at Bradford. So I told you we're unbalanced 70% of the time, 60% of the time, that unbalanced formation would be into the boundary. People cannot tell themselves, they've got 6.5 players over there, and they're going to put the free safety 4 yards from the sidelines. We would have people say, why do you always run to the boundary? Because they have a balanced defensive formation, we have an unbalanced offensive formation, and we have numbers. And that's the reason why you run option football. It's about putting people who are have less ability to have success against people who might be better than them. All right, so you'll see, I just want to explain it, you'll see a lot of, and I'll talk about numbers that are going here, a lot of situations where we have the balanced formation and very little true double split. That's just a little bit about when forced to be successful. Keep moving, Jay. Keep going. All right, so here's counter ISO. If you want any sort of ISO play, I'm going to give you a really simple way of calling it. Here's what we tell our kids. I was explaining to a gentleman out there before. Each one of our offensive players, here's how we're able to run a lot of plays. Each one of our offensive players owns the play. So when we run counter ISO, our weak guard owns that play. And if you guys want this, you don't want to take pictures, just give Jake your email, he'll send it to you. He'll email it to you at the end. Our guard's going to come up to the line of scrimmage. He's going to look, okay? How can we part the C with this play? And we do the same thing when we run belly ISO. So he's going to say, is there a guy in the B gap or not, is essentially what he's looking for. He's going to make one of 2 calls. If he can base his guy and squeeze him in, he's going to say Moses, Moses, Moses. That's telling our guys that it's going to be a B gap play right here. That's a B gap play, Moses, Moses, Moses. He's the only guy making that call. The tackle listens to the guard. He comes out here and he says, oh my gosh, I can't go down. All right, there's a guy who comes to the B gap, I'm not guaranteed my tackle can block him. He looks at him, he says, out, out. So every time we run any isolation play, we can motion our guy to the back and run I ISO. It's a Moses or an out, out call. By our quick guard, he makes it. He comes down, oh no, no, no. No one can override it. No one else should be talking except for dummy calls on the backside. That simple. He's the only guy. So we only have to teach one guy the rules of the play. He listens for him to tell him what to do. He doesn't override that. That's all coach. If he tells you out, then you frickin' both go out. If he tells you Moses, you block your guy out and I'm coming down. So that's how all of our isolation blocks are with the Moses out rule. All we're doing is, we're running inside veer. We're faking veer 10 over here. We can drill these up out of balance. Okay? Faking inside veer, leave the ball on our hip. People say, do you want to put it in there and right out? That's fumbles. This offense, you can't turn the ball over. Put the ball on your hip, leave it on your hip. Our play side slot, we're inside foot up, forearms on the thigh boards. He is open and attacking the outside hip of the quarterback. Our slot, he has play side middle linebacker. If the guy's going to blitz in the B gap, go get him right now. One thing that we tell our kids all the time, we still do it now with our single wing stuff, we call it performance alignment. You align where you have to line to make the block they need a block. If I tell you you have to have a 3-foot split and we're doubling and you can't double the 3-foot split, for fuck's sakes, go foot to foot and get the gosh dang double team going. All right? Having the right split and not making the block does me no good. Get your feet foot to foot and get the double. Now, where the coaching part, I apologize for the F-bomb, I've been working on those. Actually, for 13 years. It's getting better. It's getting better. It's not getting better, Coach Ralph? Your whole line has to watch, hey, every time we're running counter ISO, we got 4-foot splits, and every time we're running outside veer, we got 3-inch splits. That's where the coaching part has when you let your kids have flexibility with that. All right, let me hop on for cutups, Jake. All right. Here's a point for you on counters regardless of the offense you run. Against really good teams, counters will hit back to where the action started. Against bad teams, the old, we're going to run this counter and also you're going to bounce outside, go up the sidelines, that works against really, really, really bad people. When you play good people, this play will actually, Lord, yes. So if we're running counter up here, it will actually, big runs will cut back towards where the action started. Because a good team's going to have an overhang player that stays there and a corner that stays there. And an inside counter play, you can't always account for those people. Now, if he's going to come in here and bounce outside, you can probably run any play you want inside of your offense. So if you watch our good runs against good people, they should go back. Jake, what did I hit this? Okay. See, back. See, look where he's going out there. You can't block all these people. He should be cutting it back towards the middle of the field. Look at all the green grass back here making a foot race. He's going outside where we cannot block everybody. You see the guy wrapped inside? If we have an out call, and we don't think the overhang player can make the play, our kid will say wrap, wrap, wrap. We double ISO the middle linebacker is what that is. Which against odd fronts, we do more times than not. Okay, here we go. You'll watch this one here. We don't think this kid can make, he's coming up here, he's saying out, 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 out. If we don't think this guy can make the play, he's worried about outside contain, we will wrap it, and look at the guy. Look, we should be back in here. We have plays to counter plays. I'm one of those people, I don't try to put the ones where we're just smoking 80-yard runs every time. You want to see bad ones, see what happens when you don't do it right. Okay, tackle falls on his face, our kid tries to go wide. Gets 6 or 7 yards, should have been 7, 8, 9 yards back inside. Look at that. Kid might say it's a great run. Kid missed the tackle, he's shitty. Okay, if he's back inside, he's running for more yards than that. You'll see on wing counter where it really shows. Here we go, this one he keeps it tight. Out, up top. Keep it tight. Look at that, tight. Sprint down the middle. If he goes outside, it's a 7 or 8 yard gain, he thinks he made a great play. Keep counters tight. Back where the options are, we'll play it. 4 will go to the next play. Back tight. 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 This kid was a B-team quarterback for us. When we, as a freshman, he was our B-team quarterback, ended up starting at slot for us, helping us win a state title. Bought into what we were doing, put his time in the weight room, ran about a 5.2 40, but if we told him to keep it tight, he kept it tight every time. Dewey Warner. All right, here we go. Wing counter. I'm going to go really quick on wing counter. How many people in here are running some sort of GT pull scheme? I'll show you a play that absolutely kills it. Kills it if people are going to stop that play on you. So we're going to go really quick on wing counter. Here's how we teach our kids. This here is inside veer to the play side. That's how our kids are taught. So we come out, run a wing counter to the left. We will tell our kids it's just like 33. Just like 33. Down, inside veer release to the linebacker. Every play you have, there's a guy who gives you fits. And in wing counter, here is the guy that will stop this play. It would be the backside play side linebacker. Plays the guard, he pulls, I'm reading guards, he comes right through there, you physically can't get the guy, right? Everyone, read guards, taking the play. All right, I'm going to show you that because that's how we counter off. So when I call this play, this is who I watch. If we're running wing counter and we're blocking him, we'll call wing counter every time. Okay, when I say every time, I had a game I called outside veer 19 straight times. Fucking kids bought into the mentality. If they ain't stop, I don't need to show our parents how much play we have in our playbook. All right? People I say, do parents can play? I mean, we're on a single wing now. It's, oh my gosh, they want to be. People want to win. Okay? They really don't. Parents really don't care what you're running schematically. If you're winning, it's when you don't win that's the easy thing to critique, right? I was joking. I went to Kenosha. They want us to pass the ball. At the end, they were yelling at me for passing the ball. Okay? You can't win with those people. That's why I don't try to please them. All right? Our strong side guard pulls, kicks out. Our inside tackle pulls. This is a little point on wing counter for us. We look outside first, inside second. A lot of people teach GT, eyes inside. We don't do that. We're eyes outside. So if you think about the pure, how the play is developed, you cannot always account for the outside linebacker. We've got people coming back on backside linebackers. Okay? This guy here, if he folds in, he's going to kill the play every single time. So if there's nobody there, our tackle will look back inside. If there's an overhang player who thinks he can make the play, that's what he'll block first. All right? So on the bottom, this is against an odd front, top against even. We're going to watch a couple wing counters, then we'll get to the counter keep play, which we've made a killing on. Watch the same thing on this one. Great counters will go back to where the play started. On wing counter, we tell our slot, aim for the butt crack of the center. Butt crack of the center. Here's what we tell our kids, if you think about it. If my butt's here, we're running counter over here. Center rule is block back. If he blocks back, and he aims to where his butt crack is, he's going to hit it right here. If we tell him to aim for the A gap, and everybody blocks down, he'd end up being one gap too wide. So wing counter, we tell him aim for the butt crack of the center. But we've had a lot of successes. We don't give our kids a lot of information. We don't tell them this is what everyone else is doing. But we run wing counter, you gotta tell us what's your aiming point, ass crack center. Gotta say it just like that. If they can't say it just like that, we failed as coaches. Okay? Kids, if you make them learn it, say something like that, ass crack center. Ass crack center. You should say it every time. Fake and rocket up top, running counter down below. Watch where this hits. Back. Now, Melvin's obviously a great player. I'm not being one of these guys up here and telling you that we have no talent and we're rushing for it. I'm not going to tell you that. What I'm going to tell you is this, though. Any kid in our program would have got 9 or 10 yards on this. The difference is we got a great one, he got 30 yards. Okay? Keep the counters back. Keep the counters back. Melvin Gord's my kid's favorite player. Not because how good he was either. He's the nicest kid I've ever coached. We told him to do something, he did it. Never once asked for the football in a game. Except for Stevens Point. He did up there. He had a hell of a week. Oh. All right. Here we go. Slow kid. Keep it tight. So we're running wing counter up here to the field. Look what we're doing down here. This free safety, pure numerically, I told you I'd mention it, he should be over here. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half guys defending a nub formation. If you'd watch this drive, we ran rocket, jet, inside here, down here, play after play after play. And this kid here, you see their coach, just slide one step over. Fuck, slide one step over, hit your rear end down here and make a play. Okay? So now we start getting them sniff here and watch how I run the counter. And because of where it cuts back, okay, we get a nice gain here. Cuts back. Good, that was against Racine Park. They were really, really good. Okay, here we go. Same thing. Cut back. Look, aiming for the center. Cut back. Think about young kids. Where do they want to take that play right there? Oh, we're hitting the sidelines. We're turning the jets on. Not against good people. That doesn't work. Shitty people, any play works. Huh. If you play a team that runs a 4-4 defense, or 4-2-5, I'm sorry. But we run a 4-4, we're on a 4-2-5. Okay, all right. Call those guys what you want, you're gonna lock them down. Look right here what they got. We are unbalanced. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they probably, let's say they have a safety in the middle of the field, they have 4.5 guys covering a nub side of a formation. It's a numbers game. Now, see what I mean? We can't account for this guy. That's why you keep the play tight. 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 Okay? Melvin's obviously a great player. He turns this into a 50-yard run. Even if the kid's average and can stop right there, I'll take 8 or 9 yards every single time. I'll get the counter keep here.
Do you have any good shoulder block or hand block?
Shoulder. We have played with hand block. Jake, you want to talk on that a little bit or no? Okay. We have found that, let me correct myself on that, Jake. We are now combining our hands into our shoulder block. You know, we used to be the true old school shoulder block. What we find is people's answer to us now is spin and cross back, back over on the down block. So we think we get our hand, so we're still shoulder block, but we kind of work with getting our hands involved. The key is getting those son of bitches down hard. What are you guys at?
We're shoulder block, a little more hands though.
All right, here it is. Counter keep. We are reading this kid right here. I'll do another one. This is light up there, okay? He's probably reading guard. Boom! Oh, this kid right here, flying down right now. If we see that, we love it. In the next 2 or 3 plays, we're running counter keep. Here's the only rules on this play. You'll see our tight end misses his block on this play, but you'll get the gist of it. We tell our fullback, who's replacing the tackle, to have a lazy block. If you've been kicking out on wing counter, kick out, let him think he wins the block and seal him. We tell our halfback who's motioning around to go block the force player. So think about it. We don't have to worry about the middle linebacker because if he's stopping that play, we shouldn't be calling it. So we're reading the middle linebacker on this side. So we're faking here. Oh my God, wing counter, guard, tackle, pull. Look at this guy. Here's the middle linebacker right here. Gone, out of the play, don't even have to block him. Nobody else there. If we get the end blocked and our quarterback wouldn't have to freaking loop around so bad, he should be flat down the line, but our tight end whiffed. All right, go to this next one here. Here we are right here. Watch this kid right here, how he worries about wing counter, pauses for 1,001, 1,002, and we get him out the gates. Faking wing counter, slot blocks force, yeah, I'll play that full speed here, and we got a couple in a row here. There's one more against Muskego, really good this year. Okay? Look at, there's a Mike linebacker. Guy scraping to stop wing counter. Quarterback untouched on counter keep. Okay? Waukesha West, this was the state semifinals. One of the best coached teams that I've ever been against. Great coaches do a great job. They are keying guards. They are keying guards. With that being said, they were keeping to make sure they had an edge on the backside. Okay? Fake and rocket. Look right here. This is the McCutting kid. I think he was an all-state player that year. Well coached. He reads pull. He's coming here to stop wing counter. Quarterback has the ball out the backside. Last one here. Okay, Marquette. This is the year when half their team, I think, played in the Big Ten at some point. That was fun. I always tell people, the whole if you can't block him, read him thing. This kid here, Cameron Botticelli, like, oh, he's okay, he looked good. He like went in like freaking beast mode in the playoffs, like he actually went to like NFL camps. So I told our first play, we're able to just read him, slow him down. They picked their quarterback and fullback up, and I thought they're like, holy shit. I come back, he's back and he's like, stay in there, you got it, you're good, come on, you got it. Now the kid would have been out like 5 weeks. Here it is, same thing. Bam. Look at here, it's one of the try. These are good players. Watch his backer, worrying about wing counter. Okay. I think one of the big things, regardless of the scheme you run, you have to find a way to slow people down. Safety's running downhill, backers running downhill. And this is one way that you can slow people down to make your best plays run a little bit better. All right. Okay. All right. This is how we run sweep or zone. It's going to be probably easier than the way you have been taught. I already told you we throw a lot of things at our kids. We don't overtake on stretch plays. All right. What I mean by that is if Clay's the tackle, I'm the guard. Clay's got a guy head up on him. We're running jet sweep to the right. Clay's going to block the 4 technique till I take that guy over and he's going back. We do not do that. And people say, why not? Because if you're going to do shit like that, you better have about a half hour of your practice plan. We can't afford to do that. Okay, we've got some kids that we've had to play both ways. We've got a lot of plays we've got to get through. We can't do that. Here's our rule. If you have a guy on you, you block him. If there's no guy on you, you step play side and work the second level. So here's what a little bit different. I'm a guard, we're running jet sweep to the right. Coach Iverson's on my inside. Most people would have the guard, or the center for example, step to take that 2 technique, I'd help till you guys know that's like a 15-minute drill in itself. We don't do that. We will actually block down on the 2 technique and our center will work up to get the next guy up. For a play that we're going to run 5 or 6 times a game, that's all we need to do. We take care of the linebackers with slots. Now we tell them, our play side slot has the Mike linebacker. That could mean you inside release to get him. That could mean you outside release to get him. Our fullback kicks out for us, so jet sweep for us is not a get to the sideline, sprint your rear end play. It's a D-gap sweep play. If you think about it, we want to hit where wing T would hit with their buck sweep stuff. All right, so again, it's not a bad teams that turns to the sideline. Good teams are going to hold the edge on you. Our fullback kicks out for us. Our front side slot has the Mike linebacker. And I'll show you what we call if we think we have kids that are faster than the people we're playing. See? D-gap play. It's against Franklin. For 5 years, we won the league or they won the league. These were our biggest games of the year. Do we want that or take it for? Got a bunch of those in there. That's not big. All right. Now, sorry about that, guys. If we call go, it's the same exact play, except now we tell our fullback has the mic, our front side slot has the force. That's what we call if. Here's what people's answer was to the end of it when we were running this. I'm going to take the outside force player, I'm going to send that bit so hard and so fast that the guy cannot kick him out. He's going to stop rocket sweep. He's going to go to the quarterback right on the option play. So this was our answer to that. So we would now send our fullback to the Mike linebacker. Our slot would just kick him out. So here's what's going to happen. As soon as our kid goes to the side, all of a sudden that blitz is off. He's got to run with him. We tell our slot, if you can hook him, hook him. If you can, if he's an outside force player, keep running to the sideline and walk him up to his mom in the stands. So a lot of our blocks will end up, it's a wide play, but hit inside of our front side slot. Okay. Here it is right here. Classic 4-4 team. When this outside linebacker sees our slot expand, he's going to go meet him outside. We'll take him, we'll walk him right to the sideline, and we'll run jet sweep right underneath him. Fullback has the mic. This is awesome. Eyes up right out of his stance. Picked him up. Perfect. Here we go. Same thing. Fullback has the mic. Slot has the force. You'll see our tight end tries to run with him. He's wrong on this. He should continue to work up. Look at this right here. Guys, you talk about numbers and why you run. Verona, unbelievably well-coached team. Anyone who's played them, fuck, those guys can coach. We've got unbalanced into the boundary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half guys to the field. They have one. I mean, guys, we can run our whole playbook inside to the boundary just because of pure numbers alone. And it's a hard thing for it. And we struggle with this when we're on defense. Having that safety get over here, be confident that these 5 guys back over here are good enough to defend the field. One of the reasons why we're a strong, weak defense. You know why? I'd have my best players play over here with a half less guy to defend the field and help my players who are a little bit maybe not quite as good, give them help by pure numbers. Okay, so that's why it's our 4 best players, we will game plan. If I would have played us back in the day, I would have put my best players to the field and had numbers to the boundaries to cover the unbalanced formations. But let's say you're a team that you always call your stud over here to the unbalanced side. You're going to have your best players over here. You're going to make up for it with numbers back to the field. I like number games. You're on a jet sweep up top. All right, rocket right there. This got all switched up. So we spoke down at Glazier. We were meeting with people afterwards and they did that. All right, rocket sweep. Easiest play we run. We tell our slot, tell our play side slot, ball is snapped, you have to take 3 steps to the sideline, block the first guy you think will make the play. 3 steps to the sideline, first guy you think will make the play. Offensive line, here's the rule. I'll tell you one thing we changed from when we first learned this back from Georgia Tech back in the early 2000s. It used to be this. You're going to find the next defensive lineman on the line of scrimmage. You're going to take 3 steps, not block him, and block someone on the second level. Never block anybody down here. Okay, that's how we were taught to play. That's how we do for everybody but the outside offensive lineman. Here's what we tell them. You are going to sprint. Coach, if he, and again, I know I'm saying this a lot, and I hate to be repetitive in the same way with our kids. Against good people. I don't care against shitty people where this guy goes flying in. Okay, we're probably up 40 anyways. Okay, our 2s are probably in. Okay, I probably have the AD giving me the call it off symbol. All right, so I don't have that. I wasn't blessed with that maneuver, that play, the call it off play. All right. If I go and he fights, just take and wash his ass right to the sideline. I'm going to beat him with the technique that he is coached by his coach. Okay, in our defense, this guy here, his number 1 rule, don't ever give your outside shoulder up. So I'm going to go, keep fighting. I'm just going to continue to fight him right to our sidelines. Our guy will cut underneath it. Okay? Because I'm telling you, if he's good, I say, I'm going to let this guy go. A good player is going to come back in and make the play for a 2-yard loss. All right? So you'll see our guy, our outside guy, a lot of times will end up, we call it power reaching the end man. Now again, if he fires inside, and the guy we don't think the guy can make a play, we just let him go. Against us, against good people, that did not happen very, very often. Okay, so this guy here sprinting, blocking first guy he can, sprinting, he's the end guy, so he's the one guy that can block a D lineman. Here we go. 3 steps to the sidelines, block the first, it ends up being this guy, first guy you think can make the play. Okay, they're a true old school 50 team. They would always slant this kid back to the field against us. We knew that. You'll watch, he'll try to get outside of him, the kid sits on his hip, he ends up just blocking the defensive end. Okay, the kid's fighting. At that point, it should be out. One way this play won't work is this. You have to tell your slot he has to aim at the heels of the fullback, and he has to catch the ball at least at the offensive tackle. Kids want to do this. They want to go, and they want to slow down and kind of time. It's not a toss sweep. It's a rocket sweep. We tell our quarterback, you can't out-throw the slot. It's a turn the jets on. We tell our slot to read one guy, read this guy right here. He kicks out, you cut up, he hooks, you go wide. That's simple. I almost felt bad for the Mosquito this year. They had 2 losses, both were to us. But I got over it really quick. Okay, look at this. Is great. He is turning and sprinting. Turning and sprinting to the sidelines. Look at this guy. 3-4 team, I guarantee this kid's rule is never get hooked. You have to tame. They're well coached. Get on his ass, ride him right to the sidelines, we'll cut it up underneath you. Look at that. Bam, read one block, and then be an athlete. So you see our tight end getting down lower? If you have people you can't block, this is separate from this. Every time you go out to a game, you think, oh my gosh, how the hell are we going to block that guy? We train tight ends, and we shift every game at the beginning to see if they're going to shift with us. This team here, state champ wrestler, the Grittner kid, the state champ here, they had 3 state champions like on their defense. We could not block the safety. So here's what we did. They had 2 high safety. I said, we're going to shift the first time. I'm going to see what they do. Well, guess what they did? He walked up and he went back. So that state champion, we didn't block him all night and he didn't make any plays because we ran the other way. Okay? I don't need to wear super benches. I just want to win games. Now, if they're going to take and run that kid back across the formation, I'm going to stop shifting. No need to. But I'm at least going to see how they handle our unbalanced and our shifts and our trades. This is a safety. We decided to run at him instead. You don't want to come down ahead. All right, I'm going to talk about how we call options. I get people ask about this all the time. All right, we do not number holes. Here's how we do it. Does not matter the option play that is called. We do it the same way now out of our single wing stuff. We number people. Our right guards are 2, our right tackles are 4, our tight ends are 6. We tell them this in our option game. We are going to read, so our kids know when they hear a 3, we're running some sort of option. So 3's an option. 2, we're going to read the first guy on or outside the guard. He's in a 2-eye. You're the 2 player. Is he on you? Well, yes, coach, he's touching him. Okay, then that's the read key. Can't make it any easier than that. We're running inside veer. Doesn't matter the defense. 34. Option plays a 3, 4 is the tackle. We're reading the first guy that's touching me or to my outside. Once we figure out who we're reading, it's this simple. Let's just say we're running veer 10. So I love that play and I love talking about it. We are doubling the next guy to his inside. Okay? So we're going to come up here. We say we're going to point right here, read key, read key. If our center and guard double, they say cardinal. If our guard and tackle say double, they say goal. So every play we run an option, we should have a cardinal call or a goal call. Every single time. And here's what our thought process is. If we can't take care of the first level, the defensive line, it doesn't matter what we do with the linebackers. I talk to coaches, they say, Coach, we're having trouble with this linebacker. Trouble with the linebacker? How about the shade technique that's in your backfield? How about you double him and worry about the linebacker next? That's how we attack. When we sit down and game plan on Sundays for our next week opponent, how are we going to attack the D-line? We take care of the D-line, how are we gonna block the linebackers? And then we have a motto in our program, if you block the free, you should score a TD. That means we got everybody else up front block. You know, well, we're gonna X block this and do this to get the outside over. Okay, how about the 5 technique that our tackle has 0% chance of blocking by himself? Let's double him. Have one guy take care of the backer, hopefully win that matchup, and we'll go take a one-on-one with our free safety. Okay, so inside veer, okay, read this, double this, Ted means tight end out. We got it done. We're running midline, for example. Like I said, just more showing this as an easy way to teach your kids. Midline. We're going to read the first guy on or outside the guard. That would be him. They're probably going to have a shade on the backside. These guys are saying cardinal, cardinal, cardinal. We're doubling here. Midline, he knows on 32 he blocks out. They're running a 50 front. Inside veer, first guy on or outside the tackle. That's the read key. Cardinal, out. Outside veer. Read the first guy on or outside the tight end. Right here. Read key. Double. Doesn't matter the front, it's those rules every single time. So that's one of the reasons we go back to why we have a lot of plays. We try to be simple with what we do. Did anybody have any questions? I went through a lot of stuff really fast. Any questions people have on what we do, why we do it, that kind of stuff? We'll be around a little bit afterwards. Before we go back, we always tell the story. We worked a clinic, we worked a camp up in Greenwood about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, I don't know. So I said, Jake, you want to go up there with me? And Chad Hansen, a good friend of me, went up. They were kind of going all in on this stuff. Well, it like pours the second day. So here we are sitting in a motel, me and Jake. Like, okay, what are we gonna do for a day? He goes, well, let's go down to Black River. He finds this like casino on the thing. Well, let's go down there. We worked that camp for free. All right, my wife, I told her, was like, Chad's a great friend of mine. Program struggling for money. Couldn't cut us a check. Well, we had to kill time somewhere, so we did. So we've been doing everything, we joke about that, but you know, I tell you one last little thing as Jake's up here. The best move I ever made when it came to coaching is, we have 2 offensive line coaches in our program. I've been doing that since 2006, and here's my rationale. Think about staffs that you know. I don't want to say your staff, I don't want team value. Think about staffs you know. We're gonna have a guy coaching quarterbacks. We're gonna have a guy coaching running backs. We're gonna have a guy coaching receivers. And we're gonna have a guy coaching offensive line with 16 kids. What would your quarterback coach say if you sent him 16 kids and said, you're the quarterback coach, you have 16, oh, fuck, I'm 3 guys, we're trying to do drills. Best thing I ever did, we went to 2, I have 2 supplements designated for my offensive line. I got 2 guys who work, and they figure it out. Sometimes one guy works guard tackles. We don't have time to say, go hold the bag while we block. We don't have time for that. They're working on blocks that double teams with guards and tackles, and he's working on snaps. And I just lost a coach. You know, we talked about, you know, Jake's a good enough coach, he could coach any position for us. One of our other coaches said, you know, hey, if you thought about moving Jake there, I will not move offensive line coaches. I should say I'd move him if I had another guy to put in there where I could have 2 guys. So I think that's one thing that I think has been, we've been able to overperform with some achieving kids. Last thing, we put together at BBD, and what we do with this is I'm fortunate enough to sell enough of these that I hire an extra coach with it each year. It's got 296 plays on it or something, Jake would know. It's got every play we've ever run out of the flex bone, if you want to see it. We sell those, Jake has a few of those. And if you have any questions, if you're down in the Milwaukee area, like I said, my favorite stuff to talk about is program culture and weight room and that kind of stuff. But I'd love to sit down and, like I said, I learn just as much from people when they come in as they do. So if I can ever help you or help look at some of your film or that kind of stuff, I don't have a whole lot of pastime. This is what I love to do. This is my passion. So we'd certainly love to help out. So thanks, guys.
Thanks. By the time our tackle gets there, that guy still is in the area. So, hey, the old thing goes, once you draw him, you ride him, man. We're not gonna, I'm blocking this guy, but I'm not supposed to, so then I'm gonna let them. No, man, you draw him, you ride him, because that muddies the water for everybody else. Because there's probably a guy coming from depth that can make you right. Okay? So here we are, we're running out of 3x1. We're motioning the guy from the field back to the boundary. do some different things. I know somebody mentioned and asked some questions about how you tag stuff with the receivers, how you block it and that kind of stuff. We will. You know, like this was tagged with crack. So we were going to try to crack this guy. He got there before a receiver did. Now I would like the receiver just to keep going to the next guy. He doesn't. He kind of gets caught in no man's land. Not good by the guard pulling. Don't touch that guy, man. Do not touch that guy. But you can see our tackle, our left tackle, he's going to the area, right? He ain't catching that guy's man coverage. Sure as I won't catch that safety. So here we are, we're running the football play into the boundary a little bit. We're keeping the backside tight end in. The first one that we run off this guy's off the action is, what if we start with our 122, seams. We do the same thing off this, guys. It's our seam concept. Now, where we put the guys is irrelevant. It's where they end up that's relevant. They know what their landmarks are. So now we're in trips. Hey, my landmark's bottom of the numbers. Stay out of the lawn. Hey, my landmark is this opposite hash. Common sense tells me I'm not going to get to this other landmark from here. Now your landmark is 2 yards outside the hash. We want this guy to work vertical and then bend it over. You can't bend it over right now. There will be some stuff. I don't know if it's already where we game plan it, or we're going right now based on how they're playing power read and that kind of stuff. What we tell this guy, the number 3 receiver, you clear guys, look. Once you clear a guy, look. Whether it's a safety, whether it's a linebacker, whatever it might be, once you clear, look. Reason being is a quarterback's, that's who he's reading. He's ready to throw. What we read on this guy is the field safety. All right? So, this is the field safety right here. Is he vertical with number 2? Yep, where's 3? He's vertical for 2, where's 3? So as we get to the protection here, everybody's back. Nice job by the tackle, taking care of a level 1 defender. We can, depending on how they're playing, steal a guy with our tailback. Now, we're back, we're pulling, we're kicking, right? We're stealing on the backside. Now with our tailback, same thing. Hey, we're zippering this protection together. You're coming from depth to make your guard, right? Like we talked about with him on the backside of the inside zone protection, all right? If we know that, they're not second contained with linebackers and that kind of stuff, there are some times where we'll say, hey, this week, bud, glance for protection. If it's not there, we need an outlet. We need an outlet. That's kind of game by game. Running the same thing. Now we're running out of trace. Okay? We're running out of 12 personnel. Trips ace. We're keeping the backside tight end for protection. He's got this landmark. He's 2 yards outside the hash. He's bottom the numbers on the seam. We're reading the field safety, right? He's at us, right? He's coming at us. There's a guy over 2. Where's 3? There he is. Not good by the guard, right? Not good by the guard. Who's he at the block? First man outside, our in-man. Our in-man, the first guy, not the second guy. I'd rather have you on the defensive end and the running back on the linebacker than you on the linebacker, and now obviously nobody on the defensive end, right? Great job by the quarterback staring down the gun barrel, right? And you don't want your quarterback to get hit and all that kind of stuff. They wear helmet, shoulder pads too. but that's not good by the guard. Because he takes the 5 technique like he's supposed to. You can see his path and track is too wide initially. He's not digging it out. He's not inside out pocket protection, and the back can fit off it and make it right.
That's one question we got.
Yep. This is horrible by the quarterback. Okay? And it's not good by our number 2 receiver. And your landmark is bottom of the numbers. Or excuse me, 2 yards outside the hash. Once you get there, get vertical on it, right? He should be throwing it, because the safety's where? The field safety's outside, where's 3, covered. I mean, that safety's running to the pylon to defend the favorite. I don't blame him either, because I have no idea what that corner's doing. Obviously staring in the back when they're cutting it. So as we look at the protection, we're keeping the tight end on the backside. You can run it without the tight end on the backside, but yeah, squeeze tight to your game plan. I don't like it. Just because it condenses the backside, we're not doing pocketing with a short edge of the backside. But you can see here, our tailback, he's out. He's the outlet. Quarterback's wrong. He's on the 3-2 home. But sometimes, you know, I just make plays, make it look good. Yeah, we didn't get into power pass. We block it very, very similar. We do some different things with our concepts, getting fullback out and that kind of stuff.